This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon and I'm back in the studio. That might not be as exciting for you as it is for me, but it is very exciting. It means that we won't have Odie, unfortunately, in the background drinking water. Oh, good boy. If you have me on Instagram, you would have seen him feature on my Instagram while I was in Melbourne. But I do have a couple extra bottles of whiskey, so that makes me happy. Not, conditional happiness. Maybe I have conditional happiness with whiskey. Maybe that's something I need to sit in a corner or go camping about. Who fucking knows? Either way, let's get talking on today's subject. And today's subject is the Unbecoming. The Unbecoming. I'm not sure if you actually know. I don't think I've actually ever mentioned this. So the band that plays at the start of the podcast is a band called Hands Like Houses, right? And the song's called No Parallels. And so the band Hands Like Houses is... I went to school with a couple of the boys. So here in Canberra, a guy called Matt Parkitney, he's a drummer. Another guy called Matty Cooper. And I know Joel Tyrrell. The other guys I don't know. But either way, I think Matt Cooper's the only guy I've had a beer with in 3 continents. I love you, Matty. I know you're not listening, but still. Next time they're in Canberra, hopefully I can get them on the podcast. Regardless, the song No Parallels, it's kind of upbeat. I'm sure it's probably, if you listen to a lot of my podcasts, it's like skip, because they can probably get a bit repetitive. But either way, I chose that song very deliberately. A, it's a little bit uplifting, sure, but B, because of the words in it, right? And so this is the chorus. It goes, "This is happiness, to be everything at once, be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned. This is happiness. I'm fearless and I'm free with the open road and the world beneath my feet." Right? So the whole reason is looking at this thing, well, what is happiness, right? And should we actually continually be pursuing happiness? And you hear me talk about this a lot. I'm like, look, sadness is just as important. Like there's neither is good nor bad. They are both useful, resourceful, and necessary. Happiness just feels better. And I totally get that, right? And sometimes in our pursuit of happiness, we end up becoming fake happy, right? We're like almost it's false, it's not real. We kind of forcing it, and the difficulty of that is unbecoming whatever that fucking persona is, because persona just means mask. This is the idea of personality. It's like we have a personality, we are not a personality, right? And even though I use the stuff like the Enneagram a lot, and it goes through different personality types, but it's kind of like, no. You have personality types, so to speak, or maybe you have traits that you lean into more often than others. But the thing about it is that we aren't a personality, because the word persona means mask. You're not a mask. It's the thing you wear to deal with the world around you. And this is what's really interesting. And I continually talk. And if you go back to my second podcast, which is about unbecoming who you're not, and that's really what this leads into. And I had a conversation with one of my clients today, one of my mentoring clients, and we're talking about identity. And I'm like, say for example, I'm like, people get caught up in like, I'm a personal trainer. It's like, no, you're not a personal trainer. You're a human. You do personal training. Don't ever confuse what you do with who you are, right? I'm not a podcaster. I podcast. I am not a podcaster. I am Dave Nixon. I'm not even that really. I'm actually a human. That noise of Dave Nixon people make with their mouths just means me. but it's actually going, be careful losing your identity to your doings. Right? Losing your identity to your thoughts. It's not. You're a human that has thoughts. You're a human that does the gym, that goes to the gym, or maybe power lifts. Maybe you're a human that is also a mother, but you are not just that. And this is one of the difficult things, that a lot of people get caught up in their identities. And I think, like, I've spoken to many mothers before throughout the gym, and they're like, I'm a mother, and then the kids go and they're like, well, who the fuck am I now? But the issue is that they lost who they were before they were the mother. And this is one of the biggest things about everything. It's like, who the fuck were you before you were told who you should be by society, right? Now, maybe you leaned into that for some reason of trying to grab onto something, but now you've gone that way and you've worn that mask for so long that it's kind of fused to your face, but it feels wrong. It doesn't feel right. It's missing something. And it's not actually missing anything. It's just that you're playing the wrong thing. And so this is why it's about unbecoming. You unbecome who you are not. You unbecome your job position and understand that's just something you do. You unbecome your sport and you understand that's just what you do. You unbecome all of this just lies to fabricate years of your life so you have some sort of meaning. But you have meaning anyway. That's the thing. You have meaning and purpose and worth without that title. I promise you. And it's hard to think that. And maybe some people have got some questions on their face right now or whatever. But the reality is that your worth is so much deeper than what you think other people think of you, than what your job position is. All of that. At the end of the day, we're all, we're not even human technically, we're actually just here having a human experience. Your body's leased for just a little while. Hey, like you got to return it back to the earth at some point, and off you go on your next journey, whatever the fuck that looks like, I don't know. But all I know is that you don't take your body to the afterlife. Hey, you don't take your job position to the afterlife. Whatever the afterlife is, I don't fucking know what it is. But what I'm getting at there is that like I said yesterday, like be thoroughly used up when you die, but don't do it living someone else's dogma. And don't live in your own dogma, living someone else's dogma. And what I'm really saying there is don't lie to yourself that it's okay to try and be something that you're not to make someone else happy, because they're probably not even fucking happy themselves. And so you're miserable trying to make someone else happy who's also miserable. It just doesn't work. Remove the mask. Remove the persona. Who were you before all of that told you how to act? Right? It's the whole idea, like society's like, be yourself. Oh, no, not like that. It's like, let me teach you how to be authentic. Fuck off. Just breathe. Right? You're good enough as it is. And then from there, when you feel good with that, when that feels at peace, then that's when magic happens. Because everything you do is authentic and it comes through you. You're not forcing it. You're not having this fucking battle with it, right? And so, let go of who you think you need to be in order to show up in this world. And just show up as you. Show up as who you are, authentic. And it takes time, and you peel layers off, and you peel masks off, and you feel lighter, and you concern yourself, and you worry, and you think maybe people will reject me, and maybe people will, but that's out of your control. It's so far out of your control. And you start to worry about it, but all you're doing by worrying it is just stealing the now. You're stealing your power in the present moment to make decisions around what's important to you right now. As soon as you move into worry. It doesn't mean you won't. I do. Everyone does. It just means that when you figure out that that's what you're doing, you breathe and you relax and you bring your attention back to what's in your control. Because when you start to move and become who you truly are and who you really want to be, the world just adjusts. It just adjusts. Maybe it's painful, but you know what's more painful? Having this mask fused to your face that gets surgically removed at the age of 65 when you buy a fucking caravan. That's painful. I'm not signing up for that shit. I'll have the pain now. Give me that. At least I get to be me. Team, I'm out. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you found this podcast beneficial, it would mean the world to me if you would share it with someone else who would also find it beneficial. Just to clarify, if you want to buy a caravan at the age of 65, but that's what you want to do, fucking go all out and get it done. I got no qualms. I want a caravan now. I don't want to wait till I'm 65. Anyway, if you know a friend, pass it on, share the love. I have 1 week left of my book pre-sales. It would mean so much to me if you could help me out and buy a book. I've just shared it on my Facebook. I'll share it on my Instagram tomorrow. It's in the details of this podcast. A book, hey? One of my dreams, last 11 years. I had to wait that long. Either way, until tomorrow, as always, peace and pizza, kick today in the dick, and slay your dragon. I'll see you soon.
To be everything at once, be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.